Hello, this is Aaron Brown from Minnesota North College. This is part of a series of short videos explaining how to navigate online learning at Minnesota North. This particular video will detail how to navigate your course in Brightspace D2L. So let me share the welcome page, the home page of our D2L Brightspace area at Minnesota North. I showed you this in a different video, how to get to this site. Once you're here, you can look at the courses available under My Courses. And I would just highlight this course here, one of my Introduction to Communication courses. The important thing to know as this loads is that every instructor's course might look a little bit different when you access it. And it's important to know that just as instructors have different styles of teaching in the classroom, they have different styles and approaches to using the Brightspace D2L area online. So you as a student should try to adjust to understanding what the instructor intends to do in each of these areas. And the best way to do that is to actually read the material as you enter the course. Look for the syllabus, look for the welcome or click here first indications to show how to begin looking at the course. I'll show you my course just as an example. First of all, some things are the same in every course, and that would include this blue menu bar at the top. Under materials, you'll see just one thing, content, and that's where a bulk of your content of the course is going to be. That's where you will enter to look at the material the instructor has shared, and we'll get to that in a moment. Under assessments, again, my window might show more options, but you will see a few things that are helpful here. Assignments is a commonly used one where you will find the folders where you turn in various assignments. You might look at grades. Many instructors, probably most instructors, use Brightspace D2L to tabulate their grades. And that means you can see an updated version of your grade as you go along in the course. Not all instructors do this, but many do. And this is a way to keep tabs on your grade. Likewise, look at quizzes if you're interested in seeing a list of the quizzes and when they're due for this course. Instructors use the quizzing tool differently. They weight them differently. Sometimes they use them as graded assignments. Sometimes they are just for studying. Read your instructor's information and what they provide to know the difference. Under communication, you'll note that announcements, which is the main page we just see when we log in here, you can see all the past and current announcements. You can also look at the class list, which would show how to contact your instructor. It would also show how to contact your classmates if you had a question of one of them. The discussions area is an area where the message center is, where the discussion questions. Sometimes instructors use the discussions as formal assignments, essentially writing assignments and interactions. Sometimes they use them informally as a place to ask questions. Again, your individual instructor for every course is going to make that determination. Under resources, you'll see a variety of things. And I must admit, when you look at this list, it probably looks like a bunch of made up words. And just know that these are some resources that some instructors use. And probably I'd highlight the checklists as one area that instructors sometimes use, the unit checklists. And that Kaltura Media Space is another area that many instructors might use, especially to create media like videos. And you yourself can use Kaltura Media Space to create videos for courses that might require a presentation in your online course. You can look around and your instructor will refer to these if they need them. I am an instructor, so I see course administration. As a student, you wouldn't see that. But I will scroll down and show you some of the features of the main announcements page. Uh, Usually instructors will post a welcome on the announcements page. Sometimes they'll post regular updates on the announcements page for each of the units. Again, instructors will vary in this. In my case, I post an announcement for every unit that I do in the course. And in this course, we welcome people and have just a basic rundown of the information, links to the current assignments, current videos that show how to navigate the course. I will show the textbook and I will show a biography of myself, where to access the syllabus, and a due date at the bottom explaining when things are due. If you want to know about due dates, quite often they're located in this calendar here on the side menu. As you scroll down, these are again, just for my course, when certain assignments are due in the course coming up. Some instructors use the calendar feature, some instructors don't. The most important thing is to read the place the instructor says to look to find out the due dates. That's an important part of being an online student, is being responsible for reading through the material the instructor provides and for asking questions if you're ever uncertain about due dates. They're not all the same in every course. And one of the things I'd highlight is the difference between noon and midnight, or whether a paper being due on a particular day means midnight that night or 12:01 a.m. The morning of. Read the specifics to know what the instructor means. That's how to access the main information on the front. I will just highlight very briefly. Under Materials, we'll go to Content. In the content area, and actually if you ever use the D2L Brightspace Pulse app, it will actually open on the content, not on the announcements. The content is where you're going to find a lot of the basic information. Under my orientation unit, which is open now in my course that's about to launch, I'm going to show a little welcome. I'm going to have a picture. I'm going to have an introduction. And then there's a list of everything that I'm doing in this unit. I use a assignment sheet where I always have one assignment sheet that shows absolutely everything that's due. But actually, D2L provides many ways to access the material, and your instructors might use it differently. I've got the content that the students will need to read. I've got a discussion area where students can interact as part of their first discussion assignment. I've got a quiz, which you can access here. And I've got a checklist at the bottom explaining everything that you're supposed to do in this particular unit. Again, that's how I do it, but instructors will vary on this. And so I'll just go back to the main page and reiterate that message that once you're in here, the blue bar stays the same in every course. And below the blue bar, instructors have control over what they're showing you. And the best thing you can do is get to know your instructor, email them, communicate with them, form a relationship where you feel comfortable asking questions. As an instructor, I'll tell you, we love to hear questions from students who want to succeed, and we love to see students figure out how to use the course because we actually want you to do well. And so take a look at that. Let people know if you have questions. Contact your advisor or IT if you're having technical problems. And look for the other videos in this series that I provide. I will be talking about how to access your Office 365 account and software that you need for your online learning. I will talk about how to log into D2L if you missed that. And I have another video about how to succeed as an online student at Minnesota North. Best of luck. Good luck in your educational goals.